Hey there, if you're a loan officer with experience and you're out there looking at new mortgage companies, maybe you're kind of testing the water out, right? It's a different market, unique time, and you're looking for another opportunity at a lender. Well, look no further. I brought the Prez himself, President Jon Barnes of VanDyk Mortgage. John, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you, Tim?
Doing good. I love calling you Prez, man. I've known you for a long, long time, and I watched you move up the ranks at VanDyk Mortgage, and congrats to you and your success, by the way.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hey, so John, I brought you on, man. I want this video to be, I want to talk about like what VanDyk Mortgage has to offer loan officers that are maybe out there, looking around, right? Like company may have shut down, lots of layoffs. Maybe they're not getting the support they want from their branch or their company or whatever it may be. And I thought it'd be cool to bring you on because you are, as of what, January 1, 2023, yep, the president of VanDyk Mortgage, right?
I am. Yep. Been a long road to get here. I've been doing this for 16 years. Oh, geez, Tim. Been doing this for 16 years, Tim. We've known each other for what, 14 of that? 13?
Yeah, wow, man. Yeah.
It's been a minute. And where you started with this of why a lot of people are looking to leave, you hit on those top things. And one of the main things that I think kind of overrides it all is kind of the culture of why people leave. Either they fall out of the situation they're in, no longer as comfortable as they were, and comfortable isn't necessarily a good thing, but maybe the type of business they're doing doesn't fit in, or they're not getting files moved through as efficiently as they want. And that's kind of what we've focused on building here is let's figure out what the most efficient way is to address some of those reasons people do look to move. So anybody who's with us never has a reason to look to move. And anybody who's looking out there, we're always in the contention. We're always in the conversation with them to be able to say, hey, let's take a look at us. Let's see if we're a good fit together.
Yeah. And that's neat because you mentioned like why people leave companies and, everyone always usually thinks like it's pay, that it's, I don't get, I need more basis points and a lot of times, do you find that it's really not that?
That usually is honestly pretty far down on the list. So compensation, it's on the list for sure. Nobody wants to take a step backwards. Everyone always wants to take a step forward, but rate and product, those are always massive reasons. From our perspective, rates, if you're not getting loans and you're not competitive, nobody's making money. So we have to make sure that you always have a competitive rate set out there. Product, we've got all three of our tickets, Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie. Name a tier one aggregator, the people who are buying loans after they close. We've got pretty much all of them. And we have very minimal overlays. The overlays that we have are pretty much the common sense stuff. We go down to 500 credit scores. Most of the production that we do actually does get delivered to the agencies. So the rate and product piece, we try to take that conversation out right up front when we're talking with anyone who's looking at making a transition. But after that, those are usually two on the list. The next biggest ones are typically going to be your file flow, working files through. That involves underwriting turn times, your relationship with processors, the technology that we surround you with to make your job easier, whether that's marketing, whether that's CRM, drip campaigns. And then the biggest reason that we find people move is culture. So
the number one reason you think people leave, well, probably any company, to be honest, but mortgage companies is culture.
Yeah, hands down. When they have an issue, because we're in the mortgage industry, issues happen. You're going to have a file that's difficult. It's not easy. Who do you call? Typically you always want to follow that chain of command, start with your manager and all that. And 100%, that's what we encourage here. But if you ever have an issue and you need to get on the phone with the head of underwriting, the head of closing, you want to call myself or Tom VanDyk, the big guy, the primary owner here. We'll all pick up the phone. We'll help you work through the issues. We might not be the ones to resolve it, but that's the culture that we've tried to create here, is one where nobody is unapproachable. You can have these conversations with anyone that you have, because the goal is we want to close loans. We want it to be painless.
Mm-hmm. And if someone's watching this right now, just so you guys are aware, we have a video out with our, oh man, Lindsay's new title is not head underwriter, lending operations.
Lending operations.
Yeah, she's always my head underwriter. That's what I always go for. Lending operations manager, did a video with her, explaining underwriting and how accessible they are. We can chat, call our underwriters, no problem. And we did a video with Shannon Schmidt, who's the marketing manager, and she goes into all the marketing tools that VanDyk Mortgage has to offer to the loan officer and the branch manager. So make sure you check those out as well. And John, go back to the culture though. You've had some people leave VanDyk Mortgage, right? And then, I mean, it happens. People leave, come and go. And you've had people like me that have been here for, almost well over a decade now. And there's a lot of people like me, the OGs here at VanDyk Mortgage, where there's a lot of us here. And one of the things that's always kept me here, one is I'm too lazy to switch to anything else. I don't want to rebrand anything. That's a joke, but it's the culture, man. It is the culture. It's the accessibility. It's the management team itself that is always pro sales to me. And that's a big deal for me, is being pro sales. Y'all, we can't do everything at VanDyk. Sometimes you have to say no, right? I mean, that's just part of it. But the process of being able to work through all these things with you guys, when you tell people watching this video that go through the chain of command, you're accessible, Tom VanDyk's accessible, it's the truth. I mean, I'm the branch manager. You guys are a chat, phone call, email away, a text away. You pick up, you'll call, you'll talk. So like that part, what John's telling you guys is true. And so, John, when people do, we've had people leave and they come back, right?
Yep.
So like, what are some of the main reasons you hear that they come back to VanDyk Mortgage after they left?
Honestly, the biggest draw is the people. You mentioned the senior leadership team we have here. That's one of the major things that we as a senior team have tried to impress on each other, and every one of them is, there is a chain of command that obviously has to be adhered to. We can't be the ones that solve all the issues. You need a lock extension, don't come to Jon Barnes. There's a process for that. You need a file looked at a little quicker in underwriting or QC. There's a process for those. But when you need us, we're here, and be here to listen and understand, okay, this might be one file, but do we have a larger issue that we need to address in terms of our process? So there's a constant refining of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're doing it. And we try to impress that on all of our staff as well. So, you need to pick up the phone, and I mentioned a lock extension, and it might be a unique scenario where, hey, I can't charge this back. We had this happen. It's a simple phone call, and let's address it. Let's see what the issue is. But if there's something bigger, now secondary can approach closing, lending, compliance, whomever it may be, to make sure we're flushing these issues out. So we've been in business for 35 years this year. We've been through the ups and the downs. We went through the aughts, the 08, 09, 2010 crash, even 2018, 2019, more recently. For some of you, those of you who are seasoned veterans and were in the 90s, we made it through all of those markets. And it's that leadership, that experience that has led us to, this is the way we need to design our system, where we're listening to our sales team, because you guys really are the lifeline of what we're looking at, and then have the operational team there that's there to support each and every one of them.
So, and you are correct with VanDyk Mortgage. One of the things I always tell my team here is, hey man, Tom made it through 08 and 09, Tom VanDyk. Like when I was a mortgage broker business from 04 to 08, and 08 happened, and lost everything I had. Thank God my wife was around, because I'd be bankrupt to no end if she wasn't there. Shout out to Steph. But Tom made it through that. And, when I was looking for to be a branch manager, at another place, back then it was net branching. Remember that?
Oh yeah, those were fun days. No, they weren't.
Branching.
I'm lying. They weren't fun.
But I was looking for one, and they were all shutting down. And so VanDyk was like one of the few that were still standing at the time with that business model. And so it's just a testament to him and to Jeannie and the leadership that was at VanDyk to make it through that. And so I always feel safe rolling into these times, what we've been going through in 2022, and probably some of 2023, and who knows, that sort of thing. Like, I know our leadership has got us. At VanDyk, I don't worry about that. All I'm worried about is finding people that need to borrow money. right? Or people that can refer me, someone that needs to borrow money. That's all I'm worried about. And so I'm curious, man, what is your philosophy for a loan officer, like from your leadership position? Like, how do you view the LO and the LO's place at VanDyk Mortgage?
I use the analogy in the past. I've used the analogy of a train. So you've got a train that's moving, and the sales team really is the engine. They're the sexy thing. They're the thing everybody looks at and they're like, oh, wow. And then you've got all the cars, which kind of come behind them all the way to the caboose. But the engine that really drives the whole train, that's the sales force with us. So we've always been, I wouldn't say we've been picky or selective, but we always want to make sure that we're doing business with the right people. So it's not a case of we take anybody off the street. We understand, hey, your name, your reputation means something on the street, and we don't want to be a reason why anybody loses or tarnishes that relationship. But on the flip side, we also want people that represent VanDyk Mortgage and the brand in the correct way, the way business should be done. But the originator, 100% the biggest thing, and we want to invest in them. We want to see whatever your goals are. We want to help you achieve them. And if that's, hey, I'm comfortable doing 2 to 3 units a month, great, we'll support you in that. Or, hey, I want to grow my business to 20, 30, 50, 100 loans a month. We've got the tools and the resources and the people that have done this in the past, that have built big teams, and we can help support you through that as well. But really, it's having the right people. The market behind that, we don't care. With the right people, we know we can make success happen for an originator. If they're proactive, if they have the right mindset and they're willing to do the things that need to be done, 100%, you can be a success.
Yeah, I think that's a great point there. If they have the right mindset and they're willing to do what needs to be done, because my experience is, if you're looking for a company and your main goal is to get more basis points, which means you get paid more per loan, or you're looking for leads, or even a sign-on bonus. Like those 3 things, man, like to me, and no offense to anyone watching this, but like, it's such short-term thinking.
It is.
And you're looking for more bips, they're just going to raise your rates.
Yep.
That's all.
And now you're having a different conversation with your management team. It's no longer, hey, I need to make more. It's, hey, how come my rates are out? How come I'm struggling?
Yeah, how come I can't win a deal? How come I'm getting blown out by all these other lenders? And then you get, will you provide me leads? Well, some places will, but dude, they're internet leads. I mean, you're going to be burning up, find 20 or 30 leads before you even get someone even like take your call. And I'm not trying to like dog anybody for that method or whatever, but in the same with sign-in bonus. So like a cool 6-month sign-in bonus, great. What about on month 7? Like these are all short-term things in my mind, and what I've seen happen. And so like if I'm out there looking, I'm not, but I'm talking to people that are. I'm looking for a company that's stable, that has the sales-oriented mindset that John, that you guys bring to leadership at VanDyk Mortgage.
And you hear the other comment I'll make on that. You hear people in the industry, recruiters, who will say, we have a purchase-centric model. We're designed around purchases. We've been 90% purchase for over 14 years. We understand purchase and referral-based business. And that means something. Refis are always going to be there. And when we saw 2020 and 2021 come along, yes, we capitalized on it, but you can never take your eyes off of what ultimately is going to be your lifeline as an originator, which is purchase business. And continuing to develop and foster those relationships with your referral sources and your past clients as well, because that's how you continue to grow. Of great, I did 50 loans this year. Well, how many of those people of the 50 loans are looking to purchase again 2-3 years from now, looking to refinance, have a son or a daughter, an aunt? And it's important to have those tools to help foster you for that stuff. But it's also the mindset when you're going into it of, when I do one loan, it's not just looking for one loan. You're looking for the next 2 or 3 deals, which might be attached to that.
Yeah. I mean, you want to hear something crazy? I had 2 referrals last week. Both of them wanted to refinance, and both of them closed within a year. Okay. 12 months. Neither one of them remembered who their loan officer was. Neither one of them remember their name.
It's a massive fail.
It is. And, you know, we, this is off topic, but we think everyone remembers us, right? Like, oh, they'll all remember us. I posted it once on Facebook that I do mortgages. They're gonna know about me. And dude, we all have our own lives going, right? Like you forget right away, like who'd you buy your car off of, right? Like people don't, most people don't remember that stuff unless that car salesman is sending you your birthday cards, you're calling, you're checking in on you, you know, you're on their email list, you're getting mailers from them, you know, they're calling and saying hi, like that sort of thing. Let's say car guy's doing that or the mortgage guy's doing that, right? Like they're going to forget you. And so VanDyk, we have a lot of systems. This is off topic from what John's doing, but a lot of systems in place to help y'all with that. Hey, Jon, do you got anything else you want to add for a potential loan officer looking at our company? Did we miss anything that you want to cover?
Oh, there's so much more that we can cover, but obviously you don't want to keep people tied up for an hour watching a video here. Honestly, if you're out there looking right now, absolutely take a look at everybody who's out there, but make sure that we're on that list of phone calls, because I can guarantee everything that you're looking for, we have here. And there's a million options beyond that of we're not one size fits all. It's not, this is the business model you have to run, which is a lot of these companies out there are going to tell you this is the way you need to do business. No, we take the entrepreneurial mindset of every business and every market is different, and how you do it, it's up to you, as long as, and we're here to help you be a success within that. So make sure you're picking up the phone, give us a call. We'd love to have the conversation.
Yeah. And so if you are a loan officer watching this and you made it this far and you are interested in having a confidential conversation, I'm gonna give you my cell phone number. I invite you to call me, talk with me. We'll have a discussion. And then Jon will put you on the spot. Once we're done talking, if you want to go further, you know, we can set you up with leadership on a conversation. We've got sales managers involved, and we're all here to answer your questions and to help you succeed. And so if you do want to have that conversation, by the way, we're licensed in a ton of different states too. So don't let what state we're licensed in or not hold you back. Unless it's Hawaii, I think, right?
Hawaii and Missouri. Those are the only two we're missing.
Sorry, Mizzou. But if you know those two states are your bread and butter, sorry. But for the rest,
we'll get them. We'll get them for you though.
For the rest of the U.S., give me a call. My cell phone number is 239-910-5668. Happy to talk with you. You know, discuss business ideas, maybe where you're at, where you want to go. And then we can see if the conversation goes further. But always happy to help. Don't forget, we did a bunch more videos on marketing at VanDyk Mortgage with a marketing manager, operations manager. Try to get Tom on there, do one with him. And then one with my boy John Jones and Brian Level too. So a lot of content there for you to learn about VanDyk Mortgage. Subscribe to my page and check out the other videos as well. But more importantly, just call me. All right. Hey, Jon, appreciate you, man. Thank you, sir. And good luck on your first year as Prez at VanDyk Mortgage.
I'm surrounded by great people like you, Tim. Looking forward to it.
I'm blushing. I'm blushing. All right, brother. We'll see you, man. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Bye.